What? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Betsy and I make makeup and beauty history videos. And if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then I will leave a playlist of every single time period that I've done so far in the description for you. So if you love makeup or you love history, or if like me you love both combined, then please subscribe so you don't miss where we travel to next. Today we are of course travelling to the medieval era. And obviously I can't get every single look that I do to be as absolutely historically accurate as I would like to with my modern products. But what I can do for you is just reel off some of these facts and try and copy them as best as I physically can. But if you would like a little visual representation of what medieval makeup may have looked like, then please keep watching. In the medieval era, makeup was available, but it was also quite looked down upon. But that didn't stop women from wearing it, just in a very subtle manner. Basically with makeup in this era, you were damned if you do and damned if you don't. Women were expected to look good for their husbands to stop them from committing adultery, but they also didn't want to look too good to attract the attention of other women's husbands, you know what I'm saying? Which was her fault and highly sinful. The idea of purity was something that was so idealized in medieval society, even by married women. So altering your appearance in any way was seen as something that was unnatural, therefore unpure. Having pale, clear skin was something that was of high importance to medieval women. Having moles, freckles, spots, birthmarks, they were all seen as something that was dirty that you needed to get rid of. And in extreme cases, it was considered the mark of the devil. So they wanted to be seen as having absolutely no imperfections on their face at all. But this is for a reason. Having pale skin meant that you didn't have a labour-intensive job out in the sun all day, therefore you were rich enough to sit inside being pampered. And having smooth skin meant that you didn't have any diseases, with any lesions on your face, you know? But they could use this as an excuse to wear makeup to fit in with the rest of the society, I suppose. Despite makeup being so looked down upon, it was considered acceptable if the woman had a disease that she needed to cover, or if she was particularly not good looking. Again, only to look good for her husband though. But again, smooth skin was highly sought after, and women would make masks out of a lot of natural ingredients to try and achieve this, particularly made from oats and vinegar, and they were actually onto something with this. The natural properties of oats can help to soothe, nourish and moisturize the skin and offer a little bit of exfoliation, and vinegar is actually a natural AHA. Think modern retinol or vitamin C products. They are also AHAs, which again offer a little bit of gentle exfoliation and also help to brighten the skin, which is what they wanted. Just putting the disclaimer out there though, yes, I did make this mask, but please do not put vinegar on your face. I have particularly unsensitive skin. I could basically put wet cement on my face and be fine. However, yeah, this happened after, so yeah. Don't try that at home. I just wanted to for the sake of authenticity. But the first actual product that I'm going to use is a rose water toner, because rose water, in the Western world at least, gained notoriety around the time of the plague. During the Black Death, rose water in conjunction with vinegar was used as a cleaning agent to clean the homes, and also sometimes as a soothing potion for the sick. Though it was not a cure for the plague was a bacterial infection that required antibiotics, which hadn't been invented yet. However, rose water still to this day is believed to have antiseptic properties to it, and at the time it was also used to mask unpleasant odours and also wash the skin and hands. People would go as far as to bathe in it. This rose water and vinegar mixture in particular was used to clean the floors in the home as well, especially after someone had become ill with the plague. And obviously the strong scent of it was used to mask unpleasant odours from the smell of death. And plague doctors would also fill their masks with rose petals for the same purpose. Also, fun fact, the oldest rose water in the world, which is actually the oldest product in the world that you can still buy, was formulated in 1221. It's the Aqua de Rose from Santa Maria Novella, and the oldest patented product in the world that you can still buy is also from this brand. It's the Aqua della Regina perfume that was launched in 1533, and this was actually the signature scent of Catherine de Medici. Also, fun fact, I'm actually going to Florence in November for the sole purpose of going to the Santa Maria Novella Apothecary, which is again the oldest pharmacy in the world that you can go to. It's such a random bucket list moment for me, but I'm really excited. I was so tempted to buy these products specifically for this video, but I want to buy them at the actual apothecary because that's a bit more special. So if anyone would like me to do a little vlog of my trip there and a little mini review of these products, then let me know and I'll do it when I'm there. But back onto the makeup products. Once once again, makeup was very looked down upon. Because the church had such a societal influence and heavily discouraged the wearing of makeup, it was considered sinful to wear makeup because you were deceiving men into thinking you were more beautiful than you actually were. Not much has changed there then. This, however, didn't stop women from wanting to look their best by using lightening creams made from mercury and lightening powders made from lead and arsenic to achieve that pale-skinned beauty ideal, which was not only highly toxic, it made a lot of women ill and even killed some and their husbands that were invited to kiss their cheek. And it had the opposite of the desired effect. Obviously, the ideal was to have smooth skin. However, these toxic minerals very negatively impacted their skin barrier and left them with lesions and scars. And as the knowledge of these ingredients being toxic became more widely known, it was used maliciously. Some women would actually use these creams to harm others, aka being like, oh my god, you're my busy mate, here's this cream that's gonna make you so beautiful, fully well knowing that it would damage their skin. In fact, in the 1600s, one of the most popular brands was called Aqua Tofana, which contained this deadly combination of lead and arsenic, which women did use on their skin for beauty reasons. However, as the toxicity of it became more well known, again, they would use it maliciously and they would poison their husbands with it. It's estimated that about 600 men were killed with this particular brand's products, which women would intentionally put on their face, invite their husband to kiss them on the cheek, and then once they were dead, they would take over their estate and their finances. This is because women didn't have a lot of rights back then. Basically, the husband owned everything until they died. Pale skin was also so sought after in the medieval era that bloodletting became a trend, which is literally the act of draining your body of blood to achieve a paler complexion. And oh, it makes me feel funny. If working class women couldn't afford to get this done professionally, they would do it to themselves. Ugh. Eyebrows were tweezed extremely thin and in a lot of cases tweezed off completely. This is again because of the clear skin, pure ideal. They wanted nothing on their faces at all, especially hair. But having a long hairless face and a high forehead was considered the height of fashion at the time. I was born in the wrong generation. In fact, high foreheads was so sought after at the time that women even went as far as to pluck their hairlines. They would even go as far as to sometimes pluck out their eyelashes, again to achieve this fully egg-like hairless face effect. And it's not very nice to say, but all of this ties back into the purity ideal. They wanted to look like babies. While today's beauty standards are still so unrealistic, at least we're not shaving off our eyebrows in the name of looking young. So that's a win. And eye makeup again was available, but it was not fashionable at the time, again because of this completely nothing on the face ideal that they wanted. Blusher and lip stains were made from either ground plants or crushed berries, often mixed with lemon juice to give it a deeper colour. But essentially they wanted to add the pink colour back into their cheeks because again this meant they didn't have any diseases and they were healthy. Which I mean is kind of why we wear blusher now, so yeah, again, not much has changed. And I feel like makeup today still has a lot of origins back to this time. Obviously not draining our bodies of blood, but I mean, if a Kardashian came out and said that she did that, I would not be shocked. But you know, a lot of ingredients in modern day cosmetics like lavender, rose water and other herbs aren't far off from what medieval women were using to redden their cheeks at the time. They were just using the natural versions of a lot of cosmetic ingredients that we use now. They would also wear perfumes made from a variety of natural ingredients, again, mainly flower petals, oils and herbs. But again, this ties back into the purity ideal. Most people at the time didn't have access to baths in their own houses, so they needed to go to the public ones. However, this was considered impure and inappropriate to be seen naked in public, though a lot of people, especially women, only really bathed about once a year out of fear of being looked down upon. So obviously body odour was strong at this time, so they would douse themselves in this perfume to try and mask the smell. And the medieval Catholic Church considered it sinful for women to show their hair to anyone other than their husbands. Only very young girls, peasants or prostitutes would show their hair in public, but the hair was considered the woman's true beauty and should only be shown to her husband. So the hair was generally covered with a veil called a wimple, and the wimple is actually still worn around the world by nuns to this day. And it was also considered sinful to alter your hair in any way, aka by dyeing it or cutting it. The church preached that women should keep their hair long and natural just as God gave it to them. However, this didn't stop women from dyeing it anyway, especially warm blonde or auburn colours, which was the beauty standard at the time. And right now you might be like, why Betsy? What creative and innovative products did they use to do such a thing? piss. Women would use either their own or cow urine to dye their hair to achieve this lovely golden tone that they wanted. Actually, this isn't that bizarre. Urine has been used to dye hair for centuries, dating as far back as the Babylonian period in Mesopotamia, all the way up until the Victorian period. So all of our ancestors were doing that. It was actually a very common practice. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed filming it, even though I look like this on YouTube, on a public social media platform. But if you did enjoy, then please let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss where we travel to next. I'm thinking I might do like Elizabethan makeup next. Once again, I'll leave a playlist in the description for you, and I will try and link any products that I used as well. And I think that's everything that I want to talk about. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video as well.